When talking about buying a home or renting, there isn't really a one-size-fits-all answer. There's a lot of people out there who think that renting is throwing money out the window because you will never own it. Just like some people claim buying a house is way more expensive because you're liable for repairs, property taxes, and the whole 9 yards. Well, neither one is throwing money away because everyone's situation is different. At the very least, you're paying rent. You're getting a shelter in return, which isn't nothing, so congratulations. You have a place to live. And that puts you in a better position than a lot of people. And if you have a mortgage, congratulations again. You have a roof over your head. You have the luxury of mowing your own lawn, if you have one, along with the many benefits of ownership. We don't always make the best decision when it comes to finances, so it would be a whole other debate if you went and got a mortgage with a 20% interest rate or an apartment in California with astronomical rent and 3 roommates. So let's say you have stellar credit and also have good rental deals in your desired area and you're trying to figure out whether to buy or to rent. Simply comparing the mortgage payments to the rent on a property is an extremely flawed method. Before you try this, make sure you are comparing alike properties, and by that I mean don't compare a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom apartment in the suburbs to a 5-bed, 3-bath house for sale in the city. So try looking at it from a different perspective. Dive deeper into the cost of each option beyond the rent amount and the monthly mortgage payment. You want to figure out how much money you're truly spending beyond monthly cost in each option by determining the credits and debits that come with each. By credit, I mean how much monetary value you get to keep, and by debits, I mean how much money is completely gone or unrecoverable in any way. Let's start with renting. Now, when you rent, you don't have to worry about property taxes, fixing up the roof, or anything like that. All you have to do is pay a specific amount per month and you get to live there another 30 days. And beyond that, there isn't anything else you really need to worry about. So your total debits amount to just the rent you pay. And as far as credit goes, you get to keep the money you would have otherwise put down as down payment for buying a house. That's very important because if you think about it, it could come cheaper overall to have that amount invested instead and generate enough return from that to offset the actual cost of rent. You totally give that up if you decide to put that lump sum of money as deposit for a property. Whereas if you decide to buy a house, it's a little bit more complicated. Let's say you go this route and find the 20% deposit in order to purchase the house through the bank with a mortgage and finance the 80% at a decent interest rate. It's very important to factor in property taxes. Depending on the state you live in, it can go as high as 2.2% and as low as 0.3% of the purchase price of the home. This amount is sometimes included in the mortgage payment, so make sure to ask. You also need to take repairs into consideration. A good rule of thumb is to set aside 1% of your home's value for that. And last but not least, like I mentioned before, you want to seriously think about the opportunity cost of going this route. Because you're giving up a lump sum of money for the down payment that you could be investing elsewhere to generate higher returns than the yearly appreciation on the property itself. That could be a deal breaker for you. So far, buying a home doesn't have a lot going for it, but listen to these credits you do get. The biggest one has to be appreciation. This is a hard one to determine because the rate at which your property appreciates varies a lot depending on where you live. Could be an average of 3% or 7% year over year. And some years your property might even depreciate. So try and find out the average in your area. You can also enjoy mini tax benefits if you buy a house, like deducting some of the interest you pay on your mortgage. You can also deduct property taxes and mortgage insurance. And if you've owned and lived in the home for at least 2 of the 5 years before the sale, you won't pay taxes on the first $250,000 of profit. If you're married, that number doubles to $500K, but both spouses have to meet residency requirements. I probably lost a lot of you guys at this point, but what I'm trying to say is there's a lot more you need to take into account when deciding between renting and buying. But if one thing is undoubtedly true, it's that for the long term, owning a house is cheaper because not only do you collect a lot of tax benefits, and also you enjoy that sweet appreciation. But when you end up owning it, there will be a day where you won't have to pay mortgage. Only property taxes and certain mandatory fees and insurance. In the short term, however, renting offers great mobility because you have the option of moving again after your lease. You don't need to worry about repairs, taxes, and tying up your money on a 20% deposit when you could invest it elsewhere for a possible higher return. So all it comes down to is your personal situation. Circumstances vary a lot state by state and country by country, so I made this as simple and as broad as possible. So when you're faced with this decision, make sure to think about all of these factors. It can help you by saving a lot of money and a lot of financial headaches in the future. It basically just comes down to a numbers game. But that's all I have for you guys today. If you enjoyed this video and it has helped you in any way, don't forget to hit that like button. And if you enjoy content like this, make sure to subscribe because I have plenty more coming. Until next time, bye bye.